All right, so what part of prophecy don't you believe in? Where the Lord told us in the last days we would see diseases. We're definitely in the midst of one of the worst diseases we've seen in a very long time with this new virus that started in China, now that's spreading all over the world. How about the storms that are hitting, the fires that are hitting, the droughts like Australia? And not only that, but how about the millions upon millions of fish, animals that are dying in many parts of the world? You think this is all coincidence? It isn't. How about the rebirth of the nation Israel in 1948? Don't you know that that's what Jesus said was going to happen? In the Old Testament, we read about that in the book of Ezekiel, for example, in chapter 37. We also see countless prophecies that talk about what's going to happen in Israel after the Jews come back, which they did. For example, the restoration of the land, the desert turning green, flowers like a rose. All of these things are happening in one generation, and that's the generation that you're living in. And there's going to be a lot more than that. What about all the earthquakes that are taking place? When you go to my book, The Last Chronicles of Planet Earth, which, by the way, you can get today for free. And I'm getting pretty tired of people emailing me saying I'm making money off my book and I keep promoting my book. I don't make a dime off my book because I don't charge anybody for my book. And if you hear anybody saying that I do, they're lying. I don't charge anything. Obviously, if you go to my website and you get the book for free, how could you say that I'm charging anybody? I used to send those books over to different countries absolutely free. And the Lord blessed me for doing that, and they spread into all different kinds of countries, like in Africa. They went to Australia. They went to many, many different parts, even underground in China, for free. So there's a lot that's going on when it talks about current events and Bible prophecy. And just take a look at Israel, for example. How many times do I have to tell you that the scriptures in Thessalonians, for example, when Paul said when they're calling for peace and safety, sudden destruction would come? And obviously this deal of the century isn't working. Donald Trump put it together and he thought it was going to work, but I knew it wasn't going to work because they do the same thing in every new plan. And what I mean by that is the borders of 1967. That's what the PLO wants. They want East Jerusalem. And I keep saying they're never going to get it. Not from Israel, because the most holy site in Israel happens to be in East Jerusalem. And of course, that too is another prophecy being fulfilled, because the times of the Gentiles, as we read in the New Testament, ended in 1967, when the Jews finally occupied East Jerusalem, where the first and the second temples were. And that's where the third temple is going to be. And if you haven't seen my documentary about the third temple, just go over to my prophecy site, demoraministry.com, BibleProphecyMan.com, or EndTimesResearchMinistry.com. And just scroll down and look for the documentary on the rebuilding of that temple. That's going to happen. And so we're seeing a lot of the activity in and about East Jerusalem, which Zechariah chapter 12 told us that in the last days, Jerusalem would be a burdensome stone, which that has been fulfilled as well. And right now we see rockets continually going in from the Gaza Strip into Israel. Now, how long do you think Israel is going to tolerate these rockets from keep going in constantly when they're talking or trying to get this peace? So if it says peace and safety, and then sudden destruction will come, you know that we're not going to have peace. We're going to see war, unfortunately. But prophecy has to be fulfilled. All these things have to be fulfilled. Why? It's because the Lord said what was going to happen before he came back. And everything that he says comes to pass. When you look around and you see the news, and people don't even recognize the news, where millions of fish dying, birds dying, all kinds of animals dying, all over the place. And most of the world doesn't recognize that these are signs that Jesus said were going to take place in the last days. So please, go over to my site, either one of those 3 Bible Prophecy Man site, the End Times Research Ministry, or my YouTube channel. I've been blessed with over 18,000 people coming there now, and everything I do is free. Never charge anybody. So if you're one of the people out there saying I'm charging, I got news for you. You're lying, and you're going to face God for that, because I never charge anybody. So I'm going to keep giving you the current events connecting to Bible prophecy. There's much more to come in the year 2020. This is Frank DeMora. God bless. Please subscribe.